out of a court like this brother with no problem. Okay, well, and other people, they're still just trying to get clear on the basic word comprehension. So if you let me get through some of these various outs and options, then as you get clearer on the picture, you can start working on this thing. But that's not to say you should do this one or do this one or do. I don't know what you should do. All I can do is get you clear in the concept. Then when you clear the concept, when people like this brother or Taj or whoever else is coming start giving you data, then some of the stuff will start firing back and forth between your left and right hemisphere. Because they're one side only. You get it? You get it? Yeah. Okay. Some of the other apps. Contracts. You sign the contract and you say that the contract is valid. When you sign a contract, if all of the conditions are not disclosed at the time of signing, is it valid? Now, is it void? No. It's voidable. If you don't mention it, then it's assumed and presumed that you got it. You get it. So if it's a voidable instrument, then you can start, now again, we're dealing with the fact that a bunch of criminals came from somewhere else that nobody wanted. Just because you bring up the truth doesn't mean they're going to hear it and acknowledge it anyway. Depends on the judge that day, who you get and how they feel. And how glad they are to see somebody that finally gets it. They gave them a little bit of a challenge. Some are like, oh, somebody has a clue, let them go, next. And others are like, oh, so you think you know the game. You think you want to play with me? I've been living 30 years. You're going to try to come and tell me I know we put your land, but I don't have to acknowledge you. It depends on who you get that day. The judge's job really is to delineate those that are fish from those that are foul. And when you're a foul, it's the judge's responsibility, especially if he's a high level enough Mason, to get you out of there so you don't start waking up other fish. And people that are foul, if they know you're foul and you're coming in there, they'll try to put you in the courtroom all by your little self. And it just dawned on me, that's why they made me wait till the last thing that day. Because they know that's why they cleared everybody else out. It was almost 10 minutes before they closed, so they called me out of the damn cell. But all I wanted to do was go home, so I didn't even try to play nothing. They were ready for games, and I gave them nothing. They were like, okay, she was easy. I thought she gave everybody else a problem. Because I have given them problems. Yeah. You know, so they had it written down. Okay, this is a problem. She thinks she knows something. So when they said, okay, make her wait, make her wait, make her wait, make her wait. And all day they kept telling him, well, she's next case, next case, next case. And they made me wait and wait and wait. And I was the very last thing on the calendar. Because they didn't want anybody to see anything that I might possibly bring up and do or say. Okay? Sometimes I give them problems, sometimes just let me go home. Yeah, I'm guilty, yep, not guilty, no contest, whatever, check the probation, I gotta go. Got things to do. That was one of those days. So, let me see, let me try to come up with an example of something that's voidable. Example. Who was that was saying something about when you get stopped by police, it's under duress that you check your tickets here? And I don't know about here, but in California it's like this. You go to court, let's say you were given a citation or a ticket for running a light or doing a boulevard stop at a stop sign, not stopping completely. When you so-called appear, which is really when you visit the courtroom and you walk in there, if the officer showed up, he usually gets to speak first in California. Well, I was sitting on the corner of such and such and such a so-and-so, and I saw the vehicle going northbound on so-and-so, and the driver didn't stop at so-and-so, and they were going this speed or that speed, and they get to talk first. And my people always get to go next, and well, this is where we mess up. When it's our turn to talk, what do we start to say? Well, no, Your Honor, I was in my vehicle, and I was traveling such and such a distance, and I did stop at so-and-so, and I was only going such and such speed. They started arguing the officer's argument. Wrong argument. Wrong argument. What they should say is, well, my Honor, I was traveling along, minding my own affairs, and all of a sudden, the emergency lights and sirens came on, my heart started racing, I got stressed out, I went into a state of panic, and then I realized the emergency was about me. So I'm already Now, a lot of times the officer will have the gun drawn down on it. Sometimes they don't have it drawn, they just have it out where you can see it, and maybe they'll have their hand on it.
Right.
This officer had this gun. My heart started racing even further because this man has the capacity to kill me and take my life. He gave me something to sign. I just thought this man had on a uniform. He had a gun. He had the capacity to kill me. I was out of fear. I signed anything he gave me. I just wanted this man to get away from me. Because he was in a position to take my life, take my liberty, or my property, all of which I'm supposed to be guaranteed the liberty to have. But all I wanted to do was live that day and get on my way. And because I was under such fear-induced stress and duress, this man used coercive, never used the word coercion, coercive tactics, noise, light, fear, arms. This man has a gun.
Trauma.
Any contract, and this is what you're saying to the judge, any contract signed under those conditions is voidable. And I like to exercise the option to void it because I was terrified out of my mind. And that's where you should be trying to come in. You understand? Because if this man had no gun, no badge, would you even stop? Right. And if you did, would you give him the comment that you look at him and he'd be like, I need you to sign it. He'd be like, yeah, right, see you later, bye. And you go on, I'm running late for a party, I got things to do. You go about your business. The only reason you stop and deal with them is because they use coercive tactics, like lights, sirens, weapons, fear of the loss of your life. At the very least, you can lose your health if they beat your brains out with a couple of billy clubs or break your wrist with the handcuffs or something. You have the fear of losing your property, which is your mobilia or automobile if they impound it. And you know, the worst scenario is that you lose your life. If you're lucky, you'll lose your car and you'll sit up in jail, which means you've lost your liberty. Either way, these people are imposing on you, and out of fear and duress, under threat, with the coercive tactics, you just did whatever this man told you to do when he had a gun. And under contract law, any contract that is entered into under those conditions is voidable. It's not void. If you never say anything, it just keeps going. So your argument is not, well, I did stop. Your argument is this man scared the hell out of me, and I'd like to exercise the right to make this avoidable agreement that I signed, because I never would have signed it under any other condition. You comprehend? That is an out. I'm not saying do any of it. I just want you to be clear. When it's going on, at least you can see what's going on. It doesn't mean you have to do anything I say. Just be aware of what's happening. Okay? Because you may not all add up as now, but as you keep coming to Omari's classes over time, one day you'll be able to stand up with your chest out and go in there and go, look, Judge, I want to go home. And you'll be able to walk yourself, talk yourself out of there. You may not be there yet, because like the brother said, I'm scared to death. That's where most of us are. What's the matter, man? Why are you laughing? What's wrong?
Hey, he ain't the only one.
So that's most people.
Scared because you got to do something with that adrenaline. But the second time, you're a little less scared.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. They use fear-based tactics.
That's all it is.
Fear-based tactics. And that's where you get messed up. You understand? Now, did we cover government de facto? Government is your de facto court? Yeah. I got to show you guys something else. Don't get sleepy. Don't start yawning. Look up, how many people here have ever gone into a church and performed the ceremonial ritual of a wedding and gotten married? Anybody here ever got married in a church by a preacher? Ever? Only a handful. Anybody here at this time entertaining the thought of getting married in a church? Turn to matrimony. This is not really a lecture. This is planning concepts. Tomorrow's going to be a lecture. See, right now I'm just giving you concepts to get you clear. Tomorrow I'm going to give you a lecture to give you a little more of the history. Right now I'm just showing you how to use tools. You like tools? Yeah, because I don't live here. You need to be able to do this without me, without Omari. Matrimony. Now, based on what you know about words, what is this? Mother's money.
Money. That's why she said that, Eddie.
Mama's money. In our society, all the wealth and the land was with the women.
The women.
Today, under patriarchy, everything is with the men.